Are you? Well, depends on where you are. In Mexico, it's probably early in the morning. Oman, you're also the evening, just like me. Vietnam, you're probably going to bed. So let me know where you are, where you're joining from. Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 8 of the Global Teachers Festival, Macmillan Education's annual Global Teachers Festival. It's wonderful to see you all here this evening as people come pouring into the room. It's great to see everybody. If you're joining us on one of the social media sites, hi as well. Nice to see you. I can't see your comments, but I know someone is in the background monitoring those chats as well. So if you have any questions on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're joining from, say hi, let us know where you are. We have a couple of minutes. So, as I mentioned, day 8 of the Global Teachers Festival. Hands up. Let's give me a heart or a thumbs up if you've been joining the other days of the Global Teachers Festival. And in the chat box, maybe let me know, do you have a favorite day? What's been your favorite topic so far? Good morning from Mexico. Hi, nice. Thank you for the introduction. A lot of people coming from South America. Amazing. With the Americas. Day 2 was great. Good. What was your favorite day so far? We've got 60 seconds before day 2. A lot of fans of day 2. From snowy Poland. Yeah. How is the weather where you are? There's a mixture of weather across the world. Most of the guys who are with us today are in Europe and it's very wet and cold. I'm in Dubai where it's warm and sunny, thankfully. So let me share my screen and let's get started with, as we mentioned, 2026 Global Teachers Festival. So where are we up to? Let's see. Can you see my screen? Yes, you can. Perfect. So it's amazing to have you all with us once again. And today we are focusing on one of my favorite topics. If you joined me for any of the webinars that I've ever done before, this kind of topic is right up my street. I love talking about this. So we have wonderful discussions, and we're going to find out some really interesting, very practical activities to help us incorporate play-based learning and drama into our classrooms today, thinking about how young learners naturally learn and how we as teachers can nurture that, nurture their confidence, nurture curiosity and communication through drama and play. So, but as we warm up and we welcome on our first speaker, let's ask you guys a question. What was your favorite way to play when you were a child? Think about when you were our age range today, let's say 4, 5, 6 years old. What kinds of things did you enjoy doing when you were that age? Hide and seek, puzzles, hopscotch, puzzles. For me personally, I used to like art. I used to like drawing and creating artworks when I was small. Hide and seek, riding your bike, dolls, yeah, flashcards, flashcards, okay. Practicing to be a teacher, I hope. Playing with clay, yeah, some really great answers here. And I hope that we can see that there's a lot of play in there, a lot of imagination, people playing with dolls. And one very common thing coming through, I think, is movement, this idea of moving around while you're doing things. You're having fun, you're being curious, you're playing with things. Nobody was forcing you, I'm sure. You were just exploring. You were trying, you were making mistakes, I'm sure. And you learned a lot as you were growing up by doing those things. And I think our first speaker is really going to delve into this as a hot topic today. As you can see, day 8, the theme today is expression. And we have Myriam and Miranda who are going to deliver 2 fantastic, I've already seen them this morning. I know that they are wonderful, wonderful talks that you're going to get today. So without further ado, I think we will welcome Myriam to the stage if she's somewhere in the background. I have one announcement, Myriam, before I say hi, which is everybody will get their certificate. Cannot forget the certificates of attendance and the virtual goodie bags that people will receive in the next couple of weeks. Give us a couple of weeks. I think day 1 and maybe day 2 have already gone out, but give a couple of weeks. If after that time you haven't received an email from us for your attendance today, take a screenshot of this page and you've got the email address to get hold of us and somebody will help you with your certificate. Don't worry, you will get it. You get a certificate for each day that you attend And if you attend the whole festival, you get this magic sparkly certificate at the end, I think, for the whole festival, which is great. And the virtual goodie bag will have lots of, I'm sure, practical, useful classroom resources that can help you get some of this stuff underway in your classrooms. Sorry, Miriam, I just needed to tell everybody that because I know how it is important for lots of people as part of their professional development to get their certificates, and they like to use the resources in their classrooms. Miriam, welcome this afternoon. I'm getting to see you twice today. It's my lucky day. How are you doing?
Yes, my lucky day too. Yeah.
Of course it is. And how are you doing this afternoon? Did you have a nice rest?
Yes, of course. I'm very happy to be here with you again because with lots of different ideas on the same talk, it's incredible.
Yes, I know. Well, we'll weave and delve into new territories, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what the questions come up. I'm sure there
Exactly.
were lots and lots of questions this morning from the participants. So I'm sure there'll be some great questions for us again this afternoon. In the interest of time, I'm going to pass the baton over to you. I will stop screen sharing. I know you'll be interacting with the chat as you go through, but if there are any questions or in the Q&A, I will monitor that as well. And we can discuss those at the end if we have time.
Perfect. That would be just great.
Best of luck, and we look forward to seeing you in 30 minutes.
Thank you very much. Well, hello. I'm very happy to see all of you here. Well, actually, I'm not able to see you, but I know that you are somewhere there, okay? So first of all, I'm going to start sharing my screen and see. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Let me just, okay.
Perfect.
Perfect. Okay. So I am so happy to be here again for the second time in this excellent Global Teachers Festival that I really love because every time that I'm here, I learn a lot about lots of things. So the first thing is I know that if you're teaching from 3 to 5-year-olds, let me just put my timer because I talk too much. So one of my favorite things to share with you guys is how children learn. And of course, if you teach 3 to 5-year-olds, you know that they really learn with their whole body, right? Every time that we think about a classroom of kindergarten, we actually don't picture them sitting down, listening to the teacher, waiting for her or him to just say or teach something, right? So this is something that all of us teachers know. We know that our students are very young learners and not so young learners learn with their whole body, right? So these kids learn when they touch the material, when they move, when they imitate. They love imitating. And of course, when we are teaching English, imitation is really important. They learn when they sing and even when they dance. And of course, when they repeat, right? So one of the things that I think about when I teach little kids is what am I going to do today in order to engage my students and being able to actually teach something that they didn't know before, and when they finish the class, they go outside and actually they're able to do it, right? So children learn through play, right? They don't learn by just sitting down, paying attention. Of course, we have to teach them to do those things. But when through play, we can actually teach them on how to pay attention, how to be quiet, etc. And we will see about that. So my first question would be, when is play truly learning and when is just an activity? If you see this picture, you can see this teacher, and maybe some of you might relate to this teacher, because sometimes when we are very creative, we want to have lots of things in our class, so we want to give them a lot of games and a lot of activities. And of course, these activities that are very powerful because they have a purpose, right? But sometimes when we just, plan different games without this powerful purpose sometimes takes a lot of time planning them. And when you get to the classroom and do it with the kids, it lasts only 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And sometimes as they start having a lot of fun and the discipline or the noise, not discipline, but the noise goes a little bit high, you go like, no, 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 no. You don't know how to play, and then you stop it, and then you go back to maybe making the drawing or something like that. So learning does not improve just because an activity is active. Something that I really love is what Maria Montessori tells about the intelligent purpose, right? Maria Montessori is said that any activity without a purpose behind, and I love when she says intelligent purpose, that means that there is a purpose and intention for doing that activity. So she says any activity becomes educational when guided, of course, with an intelligent purpose, by an intelligent purpose, or real intention that connects mind and body and promotes development, not just busy motion, right? Sometimes Maria Montessori's philosophy tends to be misunderstood. And sometimes it's like, well, let them do whatever they want. And this is exactly what she doesn't think about. She says everything has to have a purpose, and children do not behave correctly when they are bored or when they are not engaged in the activities. So this is something that we have to bear in mind. So with this in mind, we can say that play is not a break from learning. It's exactly how the brain starts saying, now it's time to learn. And now it's time to pay attention because I'm actually loving this, right? So when we incorporate play into our English classroom, we're not sacrificing academic quality. We're using the most powerful teaching tool available for our young learners. Something which is important is that some teachers might think that when a teacher is always playing with the kids, they are not actually working. And this is exactly what we do when we teach English with all these games and the movements. The kids will be able to relate what they're doing with what we're teaching, right? So there are a lot of things going on in our children's brain when they play. Something which is very important is to understand what happens in the brain when the kid is moving, when the kid is actually playing. Here, during play, children's brains show increased activity in areas responsible for problem solving, decision making, and creativity. Can you think about that? It's incredible how play can do this. Creativity, because the kids, when they start playing something, maybe they come up with another thing and they say, teacher, why can't we do this differently? And they give you ideas. And it's very nice when you actually listen to your kids of everything that they have to say, right? Some of the exercises or the games that we can teach our kids through play is how to follow instructions. And follow instructions will lead our students to follow rules, because instructions might be very, very simple. Like, for example, in this game, every time that you look at me and look at me and looking at me going like this means that you have to be quiet. So you go like this, quiet. Or when I do like this, everybody has to be quiet. Or if I do like this, everybody has to stop. So little by little, within the game, we give them instructions to follow simple rules. So Ludmila is saying something really, really important. She says that unfortunately, not so many classes have enough space for children to move and play. Sometimes this is exactly what happens in many schools. I remember that I was teaching in a class. I had 35 students, and it was so, the class was so small. Then what I did, for example, was instead of having them running in the classroom, I said, okay, we built these little shoes, and on the fingers, so they had to run with their fingers. So playing can be moving, like in this case, we would be, like doing uh, fine motor coordination, things like, okay, now walking, now running, walking, dancing, see? So we, as teachers, we have to look at what we have and then decide what is it that we can do. And of course, in some schools, you can take your children from the classroom to the patio and say, okay, today is a different game because we're going to be in the patio, and then you can actually do all these movement exercises with your kids, right? Another thing is that when children play, cortisol levels drop and their working memory capacity increases. And something which is very important is we are English teachers and we want our students to listen to English at all times. So when they are playing, English is very important. And maybe sometimes the kids won't understand, but that's why, when we teach little kids, the teacher must be a very, very, very active teacher. Because, of course, teaching little kids is a little bit tiring because you have to be in the move all the time. And so instead of saying, okay, children, I want everybody to stop, please stop. Instead of going that, of course, you use, like TPR, going like, stop. And you do everything that they do, right? So what happens is that when the kids are actually playing, they're paying more attention to the game and to the playing rather than what it's been taught. But what the brain does is, okay, this is really cool. So the brain gets it, and then little by little, the output is going to be done. So including games in our English classes help our students feel more comfortable, safe, and even if we're speaking to them in English, they are not going to feel uncomfortable. So games, of course, and every time that I talk about the games, we will have to go back to the intelligent purpose and the purpose itself, right? So games create meaningful repetition. Children will happily repeat the same language structures 20, 30 times during a game without boredom because they are playing. And it all depends on how the game is designed. A long time ago, when I started teaching, it was 1980, and the only thing that you needed to be an English teacher was to have a good level of English and a teacher's certificate, meaning 200 hours of studying. And of course, when you do that, I remember that it was like, this is really cool, this is really nice, but what about observing the kids and knowing the kids? So every time that we plan an activity, we plan a game, we have to think about the developmental stage of our students, because sometimes the games are a little bit more difficult than what our students can handle. And then the kids are not going to enjoy the game, and they're going to start having, like you might be having, like discipline problems, right? So let's make a little example on how we can include a simple game to present new vocabulary, okay? So this is exactly what we do. The first thing that you do with the little kids, some teachers think that, and some schools and some parents think that teaching English to children is just giving them lots of vocabulary words. So with lots of vocabulary words, the kids will be able to, I don't know how, will be able to speak, right? But we have to give those vocabulary words in context, so they can actually say something. So if you can see on this page, if you see it like this, of course, I know, and that's why we authors write very nice teacher's notes so that you can actually read them. But in this case, what you do is, okay, so you can have here all the vocabulary words that you have to give, and then from then on, then you're going to have it's yellow, it has big teeth. In this case, before actually looking at the book, what I would do is like this. Okay, look, tell me, What is it? Write your answer on the chat. What is it? This is the first thing that the teacher does instead of saying, look, this is a dot dot, and then give you the word, okay? So very good, a cat. It's not a cat. It's a Natalie. It's a lion. Very good. Okay. So, but what happens if the kid says a cat? You go like, "Ah, a cat? Oh no, no, no! Look, it goes roar." So, and then the big cat. Very good. Could be. So the kids will, of course, you're saying it in English, but your kids are going to say it in their first language. So what is it that you do? It like when you listen to the word lion, you go like, very good, lion. Okay, so there are two different ways to repeat. Okay, the first one would be, okay, look, lion. Everybody repeat, lion again, lion, lion. And then, of course, as we know that we have to be repetitive, we get our students repeating this like 1,000 times. Or we can use TPR, total physical response, and we go like this. Okay, look, it's a lion. It's a lion. And of course, maybe you can go like this. It's a lion. It all depends on what you want to highlight. In this case, I want to highlight the it's, okay? Because instead of saying just lion isolatedly, I want them to start practicing the verb to be. So it's a lion. It's a lion. What color is it? And of course, the kids are going to tell you the colors that they say that they see. Okay. So I would go like this. Okay, look, it's yellow. It's yellow. Very good. So look, it's yellow. It's a lion. So two different sentences in only one chunk, okay? It's yellow, it's a lion. So every time that I click my fingers, the kids are going to say it's, okay? Now, the second part. Look, it's yellow. It has big teeth. It has big, we can go like big or big, whatever gesture you want to highlight, right? So it's yellow. It has big teeth. Now look, what color is it? It's green. It's green. It has big teeth, etc. Okay, very good. So after this, then the kids are going to listen to the way that real children are saying it. Okay, so listen.
It's yellow.
Can you hear it?
It has big teeth. It's a lion.
We're perfect. So what happened here? This is a riddle, right? So the kids are going to actually listen to the two boys saying it, and then we want our students to imitate. So we welcome two kids to the front, and they say, okay, now you are going to be, of course, we will have two kids, and then, okay, so you are going to be, you're going to tell what it is, and you're going to guess, right? So, and then again, so we listen to it again, and we go like this.
It's yellow. It has big teeth. It's a lion.
It's yellow. It has big teeth. So they are going to imitate. It's yellow. It has big teeth. So little by little, they're going to, relate it to the music of the language, right? And now let's keep on playing. So look at this animal. This animal is a yes, I'm waiting for the answer. Very good, turtle. Very good, Andrea. So it's a turtle. And what color is that? Blue. What color is it? Blue. So we have blue, green, yellow. Okay, so are the turtles slow or fast? Okay, so every time that you see the turtle, we have to do it very slow. Are you ready? So again, remember, so tell me, Now look slowly. It's a lion. It's a and then again, the kids are repeating exactly the same chunk, language chunk, which is it's a lion. And the kids are doing it like that. Thank you for doing this. Very good, Marines. Excellent. We're doing it. So if you're doing it, you will have a very huge golden star at the end. Okay. And now what happens with this? Look, we have a rabbit and we have a color next to the rabbit and it's red. So that means that the rabbit goes. Very good. So let's see what happens with this. Are you ready? Now let's do it. It's a lion, it's a lion, it's a lion, it's a lion. And then little by little, the kids are still repeating, but repetition in this case can be fun because the kids are actually doing exactly the same language chunk with different movements, okay? Now, once they know, in this case, what we're teaching is slow, fast, big, small, okay? And then what we want our students to do is we're going to do something different within the same with the same topic. So this is an activity that was purposely, done for the kids to understand what slow and fast is, okay? So in this case, we want our students, the only thing they have to do is they have to circle the slow movements in blue and the fast movements in red. So with the previous exercise, we created like a cognitive path, right? So we're using the same activity, but in a different context, okay? We have slow, fast, but now we're doing this. And then of course, maybe you when you see that your kids are walking very fast in the class, maybe you can actually show them a turtle going like, please walk like a turtle, and then they can do it a little bit slow, right? Now, there are two essentials that accompany our games, always, always, always in English. And of course, I'm sure that you guessed before I clicked in my presentation. It's movement and music. Why are they so important? Well, because movement is going to help our students' attention. They're going to pay attention to the movement they have to make, and then immediately memory and meaning sticks to it. Imagine that instead of just repeating things, maybe if you don't have a big classroom, maybe what you could do is, okay, tell them, everybody stand up. Now, let's see if you can repeat this word standing on one foot. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. And then you give them exactly whatever you want. I mean, whatever subject you're teaching, right? And then you say, okay, on your right, show me your right foot. You're teaching right and left. You're teaching them how to, just stay in one place and say, it's a lion, it's a lion, it's yellow, right? So the kids are going to pay attention more to not to fall down because they're standing on one leg, rather than paying attention to the repetition. So that's really cool. And of course, music. What happens with music? Music is going to help us again with repetition, pronunciation, and rhythm. For those of us who are not native speakers, we really need to pay attention on how the language is spoken, because sometimes we want to speak the English using the same music of our language. So it is very important for us to pinpoint how some questions are asked, or some sentences are written, are said, right? And when we come to music, music is not just singing, is not just listening to music. Music is listening to the way a person is speaking and imitate that specific rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation. So movement will switch the brain into, okay, ready to learn mode, because they are engaged, they want to do it. And sometimes in last session, sometimes we will have kids that don't want to do the things. And what is it that you do then? What you do is as you already know your students, you prepare a class where you know that all of your students are going to be included. And if you know that even though this class is really nice and some of our kids are not going to like it, then uh, you preview it and then you talk to them. You can talk to them and say, today we're going to do this. I'm sure that you're going to like it. If you don't like it, I mean, you can be, like my helper, right? So you can actually do that with your students. And of course, movement always will build more memory pathways, because either you are right brain, left brain, kinesthetic, visual, it all depends. It doesn't depend on your learning preference, right? So when children move, their attention system wakes up. So young children don't learn best through words. They don't learn best when they are sitting down and coloring and tracing. They learn best when they do this movement, right? So let's see, for example, this one. This is the typical exercise when you have when you present food, right? The first thing is you present the vocabulary words, which we know, that we know how to present. Something which I really, really like to highlight, and please, I want to invite you to do this. The first thing that the teacher does when showing a flashcard, a cutout, and a real, whatever, please elicit that from your students. Don't tell them immediately what it is. Find out whether they are understanding the picture, they're understanding the cutout, or give them, this like an open door. Maybe they already know the word and they're going to surprise you. So don't just show them and say, it's a lion, it's a lion, it's a lion, right? So the first thing is like, okay, what is it? And maybe it's going to take time for the kids to answer. So it's like, okay, tell me if you know that the kids are not knowing this, maybe then you can actually get them say the word, right? So in this case, for example, I can have a very nice hand game to get the pronunciation going. So we can do like this. What do you want? Or maybe it could be like this. What? Because, the kids are not able to snap yet. This is for 5-year-olds. So it's like, what do you want for dinner? I want pasta, please. What do you want for dinner? I want chicken, please. Okay. So in this case, the kids are actually, like moving and listening to the what do you do? You can do it like, what do you do for that? Or if your kids are starting to snap because they really love snapping, you go like, what do you like for dinner? I want pizza, please. Okay. So little by little, the kids are going to listen to the rhythm and the music of the language. Okay. So this rhythm will train the brain to speak, and they will be able to speak in English in a way that even parents don't expect, because sometimes they even have very good pronunciation. Now, as a non-native teacher, be aware of the way that you're teaching the language, because sometimes you can be a very good teacher, but sometimes the pronunciation is not very good. That's why we have beautiful applications. So you can go to your app and say, how do I pronounce this word? And then little by little, you will be able to do it. And of course, music gives repetition without boredom, right? So the kids are going to do it. I use chants. Very good, very good. And what you're saying, rhythm is important to develop fluency, because sometimes when we imagine that this is just the kids are actually, like saying it, but when they start reading, they will start reading word for word, and this is exactly what we don't like. What we want is to get them, in a line, right? So let me just share this a nice thing. And this is, well, you're going to listen to it, and we're going to do something different from what we usually do when actually watching videos, okay?
Please and thank you. Ruby and Camilo visit their friend Elif's new restaurant.
Hi, Elif. We're here. Welcome to my restaurant.
Wow, it's nice.
Thank you. What do you want for dinner?
And I will stop there, okay? When the elephant says, "What do you want for dinner?" she doesn't say, "What do you want for dinner?" Like, "What do you want for dinner?" Right? What do you want for dinner? So what we want our students is to listen to what they're saying, and then they will be able to say it afterwards. And something which is really nice and I really love doing is to get my students just listening to the rhythm. So I go like this.
So, what do you want for dinner?
How did it sound? Na, 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 na. So everybody, na, 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 na. And then you can have na, 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 na. And the other group would say, "What do you want for dinner?" Very good. Na, 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 na. What do you want for dinner? Okay. So little by little, as the story goes along, we teach Camilo, the chameleon, how to say thank you, right? And then again, we have to
Ruby
listen.
tells Camilo to remember the kind words.
I want pizza.
Wait, Camilo, remember the kind words. We say please.
Sorry. I want pizza, please.
Okay, so now the kids can actually, imitate, "I want pizza, please." And that's why we have lots of different voices. Sometimes I don't even like these voices, but kids really love it. It's like, "I want pizza." So we're going low, we're going high. So this is really cool. So then, of course, we have our children do the same, pretend that, so who wants to be the elephant? Who wants to be the panda, the red panda? Who wants to be the chameleon? And then we can easily have these things, right? Now, little by little, every time that we teach an activity, that we want our students, for example, in this case, we want our students to follow a line. But why not doing it with slow motion? So we can play some music to have them go like slow. So we go like na, 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 and maybe you can say dance, 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 or jump, 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 jump. So it all depends on what is it that you do. But again, with a purpose. And I'm doing exactly the same things from the very beginning. I'm doing the turtle thing, the rabbit thing, that, okay? So in this case, for example, the last one that I want to show is this one, which is what do you want to be? Okay, so again, using the same rhythm. What do you want to be? And then I want to be a teacher. What do you want to be? And then, so whenever that you are listening, you say, put your finger on top. So you say, what do you want to be? And they have to go, I want to be a doctor. Number 2, artist. What do you want to be? And of course, then they follow instructions and go like, okay, put your finger on the artist, and then let's go down to the easel. So we go like, what do you want to be? I want to be an artist. Boom. So little by little, if we start blending everything, music, movement, imitation, repetition, the language is going to stick there. And someday, I mean, like out of the blue, they're going to sound and they're going to say things just, like that, right? So we have to remember that play is the pathway, but intention is the compass. When we combine movement and music with a clear learning purpose, English stops being something children study and become something that they can feel, that they can do and remember. So I invite you to be, active teachers, enjoying teaching through the body, right? And of course, as an English teacher, enjoy speaking English to your kids. They won't understand every single word, but you will make them understand if you give them the context and you give them the way to do it. So thank you very much for being here. And I really thank you very much for all, thank you very much for all your cards and thanks and all your comments. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here with you and very pleased. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miriam. That is an overwhelming flood of emojis. I don't even think I've seen the screen flood like that before. People are going to break Zoom, I think.
It's incredible. Thank you very much. Really, really.
Insane. Look at it. It's amazing. And very much deserved. I mean, what a wonderful session. And so many key points and delivered in a way that gives teachers, really simple, practical things that they can do with their children, which is what we announced at the beginning. I mean, I made a couple of notes going through. I mean, there's a few really key points for me. One, that we mentioned this morning, play is not a break from learning. I think this is a key. Actually, I got a new one from this morning, which you also mentioned, which is, and I think people think this actually a lot, that play is not the opposite of work. Play is actually work for children.
Exactly. That's an incredible takeaway, really. This is and this is something that we have to, just shout to the world. Yes.
I make good notes. I pay attention.
Good
I
notes, right?
also got
You
the
do
play.
it.
It's not just having fun. It's not kids running around in chaos, just doing whatever they want because you think that they're playing. That came across really strongly, that it's structured, it's intentional. And this idea for me with play is that actually it breaks down. And I think education does this a lot because of things like assessment and testing. We view education in terms of correct and incorrect, black and white. And actually play breaks that down and says that there's a lot of gray in there, that everything doesn't, kids don't, especially very young kids, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, they don't have to be correct all the time. They're supposed to make mistakes. So that came across really strongly for me. The multisensory part is really strong. Multimodal as well. There was a lot of this in there for me. And I think we think of multimodal in terms of technology a lot, giving them videos and animations, which you've got there. But it can also be just showing them the same language in multiple formats. Have you still got Leo? Where's Leo? Ah, but so what would your lion say to my lion?
Oh, hello. What do you have for dinner?
Exactly. See, so we're immediately we're breaking it there. See, we're being playful and we're using the language that we want them to use. So we're modeling it right for them. And you can do this thing. And then there's lots of different Leos. Leo could be always nice.
Exactly.
Could be a puppet. He was a bit blurry. But so there's the kids need to see that language in so many different formats, and this is playful for them, right? They start to understand that context can shift, and we could have, we could pretend that the lion is on space. We could pretend the lion is different color. What does he eat? Maybe he eats humans, and you make them laugh, and it's playful, right? This is what playful.
Exactly. They would be like, what do you want for dinner? And said, I want a frog, please. And of course, we were like, no, frogs, no. So this is something that humor is as well in the and when you do this, that you are actually knowing that your kids are understanding and they are, engaging in the activity. And this is really, really cool. Yeah. To see something that happens is that when you look at your students' faces and you see these eyes going like, oh, no, this is just like it's really, really nice. It's amazing. That's why I love teaching little kids and teachers.
I'm going to come to a couple of the questions because we do have a little bit of time. But yeah, and one of the things that this reminds me of is this idea of how, I guess, because a lot of this language is taught through units, right? Because this in fact, you're the author of the material that you were showing today.
Yes.
You might want to tell people what that is, because there was quite a few questions in the chat box, like where's this animation from? Where's this page of the book from? So what is it that you're showing?
It's my brand new baby, Lorena Painbergs and myself baby, and it's called Early Explorers.
Early Explorers. It's called an,
Early
I'll admit, it's
Explorers.
called Early Explorers from Macmillan
Early
Education.
Explorers. Exactly.
And yeah, Miriam and the wonderful Lorena, who's also done lots of webinars for us. If you go and check out the archive, you'll find
Yeah.
Lorena there. And I saw Will has put a link in the chat box. So if anybody wants to explore Early Explorers, it's brand new. It's actually being published currently. I don't think it's available until the summer, ready for September start for a lot of people. I think.
Yeah, it's brand new. So you were the first ones to look at the page. When I got the page, it was like when I got the stories, because when we were writing the stories, we were just imagining how the stories would be, and it was incredible. Yeah, and I got the story like two days ago. So it has been really, really nice. So we use puppets, and something that we wanted to highlight in this course is dialogues, the kids speaking as they are. I mean, even if they are 3 years old, they will be able to speak. When they say, what is it? It's a sharpener, or it's a whatever. What color is it? It's red. And there are lots of things that you can do. And yeah.
Yeah, there are visual clues in there to help them, just to scaffold them, to support them. So it's very
Exactly.
scaffolded learning for very young learners. And you're right, they can do it. I mean, my daughter's not even 2, and she can do these things. So I'm sure the kids in the class when they're 3 and 4 are capable. We just need to present it in a way that allows them to attach to it, right? To grab their attention. And it made me think about the way we teach a unit. So a lot of people, I think, a lot of teachers feel like we need to give the kids I think you mentioned this at the beginning, you need to give them the vocabulary for them to be able to use that vocabulary in the rest of the unit. But could you show them the animation first and then?
Of course, of course. This is something really nice, and I'm so glad that you're actually saying this, because it's not something that I mean, of course, all the books have a sequence. It's like you have to go from here to here, but there are lots of things that you can forget. I mean, you're in page 44. Don't worry, do the story before, so that they can actually look at it and start living it. Of course. And this story can be played over and over again. And every time that you play, have a different activity that goes with that. And not just look at the story, to the story, and then you can color or plan your class. No, 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 no. For one time at the end, then you'll see, now let's do the whole story, and then they will see the whole story. Or you can give them the whole story, and then, so this is really nice. And it all depends on your group, on your students. You can have first giving them the story, and then little, break it by pieces. So yeah, that's exactly what we were like. Language is not just, pieces of vocabulary or grammar. It's a whole thing. It's chunks. So that's why it is very important for us to not just think about vocabulary words and that's it.
Yeah, nice. I wish I could carry this conversation on and ask more questions and get into more about how to, bring that kind of playfulness into the classroom and help kids really explore the language in playful ways. But I know that Miranda's waiting in the wings, and
I know, and you will love it. All of
sadly
you,
run out of time.
1.2K teachers will love it.
They will love it. So Myriam, from me personally, thank you so much again for the session. And on behalf of the thousands of hearts that poured onto the screen a minute ago, I'm sure thank you from everybody else as well. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very
We
much.
will see you again very soon. I know you're doing the evening session, so have a nice rest, and we'll look forward to seeing you this evening.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Have a wonderful time. Thank you, all you teachers. Bye-bye. Enjoy Miranda's. Bye-bye.
Right, let me share my screen again. And I think I can see Miranda in the background. Better be able to see different screens. Miranda, are you there?
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello. And
Hello,
a big
hi.
welcome from sunny Florence.
Wow, amazing. One of my favorite cities, Florence.
It's beautiful.
It
Lots
is.
of things to see, to eat, to drink.
Yes, it is. So let's let's move the slides along. We have Miriam. We were going to take a break, but the topics are just far too interesting. We've got far too much to talk about. There's no time for breaks. I don't think people even wanted a break. Maybe they can have in fact, Miriam, we'll have a quick stretch, shall we? We'll just stretch it out, and there you go.
I'll stretch with you.
Have a 10-second break. There you go. If they need a cup of coffee, go. It's all recorded. You can come back and watch the 5 minutes that you missed. No problem. But let's go straight into the second webinar. And I hope you guys are here with your passion and your energy, because I know that Miranda certainly is. Miranda's going to be looking at drama in the young learner classroom and how that can help children to become confident speakers. So how pretending, storytelling, and movement, we're going to continue this theme of movement. You're building on Miriam's themes a lot. There's a lot of
follows through really well, actually. Follows on really well.
It does. It really does. Before we get going, I mean, you studied drama, right? How did you get in? What interested you in drama in the first place?
Well, first of all, I wanted to become the Queen of England, and that didn't actually work out so well. So the next second best was, okay, let's be an actor. So I went to drama school in London with James Bond. And when I finished drama school, James Bond went off to become famous in the United States. And I emigrated to Italy because I'd had enough of the London weather. And then I opened up my own drama school here in Florence. And I was also teaching English. I got into teaching children, and then I had the idea of mixing both my drama skills together with my English language skills. I've got a CELTA certificate, and just to create something new, different, that would really excite children and get them communicating more, speaking up more in class. So that's how I arrived here in Florence.
Yeah, great. I mean, you chose a great city. It sounds like a very innovative approach. So a lot of good, I love it, bit of innovation there. And I'm pretty sure everybody's going to agree in 30 minutes time that I think your enthusiasm is super contagious. So without holding you back, I'm going to pass the baton to you. And I'll watch the chat for any questions, but feel free to interact. If there's any in the Q&A at the end, we will try to address them.
Perfect. Thanks so
Enjoy
much.
everybody, and I'll see you in 30 minutes.
See you in a bit. Right, well, let's start today's session with a question. Now, let me know in the chat box, have you ever used drama techniques with your young language learners in class? Let me know in the chat box. Have you used them? Or do you use them in every session? Do you sometimes use them? Or have you never used drama before? Or do you maybe think, if I mention the word drama, do you think, oh no, the idea of an end of school performance, the stress, the extra work, the rehearsals, the mess? Let me know if you think that. Or maybe you think, well, English through drama, it's not really serious learning, is it? It creates a bit of classroom chaos. The children will get too excited and, well, I don't have time. I've got a lesson plan to get through and I don't have time for drama. Or maybe I'm a teacher. I'm not an actor. Let me know if you can relate to any of these comments. I've got lots of sometimes, yes, you're using it very often. Yes, sometimes. That's great. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, the funny thing is about drama that for some of us, using it in class to teach English, it might seem quite alien. But in reality, we're using it a lot more often than actually maybe we think. What about when we teach our own children their first language? Do we sit them down one day and say, right, to our toddlers, our babies, right, today we're going to look at some grammatical structures and we have a verb test to follow? No, we don't. We sing, we use rhymes, we tell stories, we play with puppets, we pretend, we role play. And that, what is it? It's basically drama, right? So if we are using drama-based techniques already to teach our own children their first language, it's quite logical and simple and natural to use those same techniques in teaching a second language or a third or a fourth, yeah? And also learning a new language to speak it confidently, I think is a lot like how we learn how to swim. For example, here we are, we're going to go swimming. All right, I need to learn how to swim. What do? we can look at all of the videos, the swimming videos online imaginable. So we could look on YouTube, follow all those videos, learn how to use our arms, our hands, how to flip our feet. We could study all of the textbooks in the world about swimming techniques. We could even take tests on swimming, right? But can we swim? Because it isn't actually until we get into the water and we get those opportunities to practice what we're learning, that is when we start making real progress and really fast. And that basically is what drama can do in the English language classroom. It helps children feel really immersed in the language, and it creates a space for speaking. And also it develops those soft skills like communication, creativity, teamwork, self-expression, and confidence. And the best part is that you can use drama with your young language learners, even if they have very limited skills, because they can use their bodies, their gestures, their faces, their emotions, their imagination. Communication becomes much bigger than just words. And what about our younger learners, those students who may be a little bit, not shy, but the quiet learners, the ones that hover a little bit at the back of the classroom? Drama's perfect for them because it allows them to, yes, to step into a role and adopt a character, whether it's a proud pirate, or a scary witch, or a crazy chef. All of these just really allow students, and it gives them the freedom to express themselves, to try out, to improvise, to make mistakes, and to explore language in real situations. A character, a costume, can also help children hide behind something so they feel safe. And this extra safety makes them, well, gives them a bit more courage to step out of their comfort zone. And when they're speaking actually through a character, it has an amazing effect on them, because if they make a mistake, which is quite normal that they do make mistakes, they don't say, oh no, panic, I made a mistake, oh no. No, they just naturally think, I made a mistake. It doesn't matter. It's not me that's making the mistake, it's the character. And that in itself can be so freeing for children. Now, the big question is, though, where do we start? If we have never used drama in the classroom before, we're not actors, we're teachers, where do we start? Do we just give our students a play script and get them acting out in front of the audience, or start preparing an end of school performance? And the answer is no, don't do it, because it can be counterproductive. One, because as soon as you give a script to children, they go boom. They're not free or independent. Their eyes are on the script and they're reading every single letter. Many young language learners can't yet read or write very well, and so that makes them feel even more apprehensive, and their pronunciation goes out of the window. Play script, and they feel completely blocked. So what we want to try and do is forget about play scripts for the moment and think about drama more as a journey of exploration that gives space for children to grow their confidence in speaking. So we're going to try and combine little bite-sized chunks of drama into our lessons to really help support our lessons. So whether it is introducing a new vocabulary, we can use some drama to support that, or whether we are reviewing target language, we can use drama activities to review as well. How do we do it, you might be asking me? I'm going to show you right now. So let's have a look at the topics that we are going to discover and explore this afternoon. Topic number 1. Drama setup essentials. I'm now, in a few seconds, I'm going to introduce you to how to set up your classroom and in incorporating drama into your English language lessons, and how to manage our students. Classroom management. We're going to look at that in just a second. We'll also look at number 2, warm up and speak up. How do we actually warm up our students? What kind of exercises do we do in our very first lessons that make us feel really relaxed and also our students? I'm going to share with you 4 icebreakers that you can do with your students straight away. And we'll finish this afternoon with a role play. Let me know in the chat box, have you ever attempted to do role play with your young language learners, or has it been a hot, sticky mess? Let me know. Yes, well, yes, yeah, I love it. We've done. Have you done role play where, for example, you felt a little bit uncomfortable? Maybe children feel a bit overwhelmed with so much language, or they feel a bit uncomfortable acting out in front of the class. Have you ever tried role play with even your preschoolers, 4-year-olds? Is it possible to get a 4-year-old coming and acting out in front of an audience? Absolutely, it is. And I'm going to show you a really super simple role play that you can try out straight away with your students. Oh, I love that. Yes, 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 you do role play. Of course, of course. Yes, definitely. Okay, great. So let's go and look at number 1. Let's look at step number 1, drama setup essentials. Now I'm going to give you 5 quick strategies of how to set up your classroom and set up your students for success. Okay, first, number 1, where do we do drama? Drama you can do anywhere, but the best place, if possible, is in an open space. So we're not having children sitting behind desks, if possible. They're up on their feet, because then they have time to the space to express themselves a bit more freely. So if you do have tables and chairs in your classroom, just get your students at the beginning of the class, 1 minute. Okay, help me push all the chairs and the tables out of the way, and boom, there we have our open space. Now, instead, with young language learners, instead of getting them working in small groups or in pairs, I find it's better, it's most successful when we're working as one whole team. And working as a circle, in a circle, is super duper. Now, I know you're going to say to me, yes, Miranda, I've tried getting my students to work in a circle, and it doesn't work. They end up making a big blob in the middle of the room. I know it's not easy getting our young language learners to make a circle. It's 10 minutes and you still haven't made a circle. So let's try and set up our students for success and getting them to make a circle in, let's say, 10 seconds. How do we do it? Well, what really flipped my lessons was when I started introducing a floor mat. Now, not exactly this one, because this is a tiny version, but I started using a PVC floor mat that I would take around to lessons. I just fold it out, 2 seconds, put it on the floor, and boom, it was a visual guide, a cue for my students to know where to stand in the classroom. So then I just give a 10-second countdown saying, right, everybody make a circle, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. Immediately they have made the perfect circle ready for my next instructions. Now, I'm waiting the silence now in the chat. I haven't got a floor mat, Miranda. Well, not yet, you haven't, but you will, hopefully. What you can use for now is to make a circle, some masking tape. To help your students, just put a bit of masking tape, it's made out of paper, just stick it on the floor, a few crosses in a circle, and that will really help give your students an immediate cue to know where to stand, especially when you're moving around in class as well, and you're saying, okay, let's make a circle really quickly, not in half an hour, really quickly, in a circle around that guide, and boom, they're ready to start the next exercise. So that's the first tip. Okay, let me know in the comments if you already have a floor mat or if you use something to delimit your space in your classroom. Step number 2, when do we use drama in the English language classroom to teach a language? Well, instead of, let's imagine, a lot of the time drama is used as an extra add-on, like, okay, I've now finished my lesson plan, I've got 5 minutes left, let's play a fun drama game. Instead of using drama as a separate identity, as a fun, playful activity at the end of the lesson, drama can be such a great and instrumental topic to use in all of our lessons, whether it is to introduce new language or to review language as well. It can be really, really helpful, as I said before. So really instrumental in our language lessons. And I'm going to show you exactly how we can do that in a second. I'm going to give you some examples, okay, of when to use it and how to use it. Step number 5, no, step number 3, multisensory. Try to choose multisensory activities when we're using drama, because it really helps children explore their bodies, oral listening, visual, verbal activities. When we're incorporating all of their bodies, they not only are engaged a lot more because we're using all of their senses, but they also find that memorizing language becomes a lot easier. It really helps language stick. And you might say to me, okay, what is a multisensory kind of drama activity? What can we do? I'm going to show you in a second exactly what you can do in your very first lessons, okay? Step number 4, how long does a drama activity have to last for? Well, I would recommend around 5 to 7 minutes. If you already teach young language learners, you know they have very short attention spans. So there's no point in doing an activity that lasts like 20, 30, 40 minutes, because the children will be climbing up the walls at the end of it. So we want to try and keep activities short, and that will maintain their focus, their energy, their motivation for that length of activity. What kind of activities can you do? I'm going to show you in a second. Just hang on a minute. I'll show you. Step number 5, model. When we are more aware of our own communication skills, when we also ourselves, we're going to be choosing multisensory skill activities for our kids, but also when we're more aware of our communication skills, of using our own bodies, our voices, our energy, our enthusiasm, it becomes a lot easier not only to give out instructions, because we can depend a lot more on our bodies and not just verbal instructions, but also when children see that we are enthusiastic about joining in, about participating, we're loving what we are introducing to them, they tend to mirror our behavior, right? And they become really enthusiastic and want to join in with us when they see us loving the activity. So modeling, demonstrating activities, being aware of our communication skills, our voices, facial expressions is something that's really important. And I know that you already know that already, yeah? Okay, so those are 5 starter tips of how to set up your classroom and how to set up your students. Let's have a look now at step number 2, how to warm up our class to speak up. So what we want to try and do in our very first lessons, if we want to use start incorporating, combining some drama into our language lessons, is to create a tone, an atmosphere in our class that really encourages our students to want to join in and start speaking up. And one of the best ways we can do that is to start using icebreakers. Now, I'm going to give you 4 different icebreakers now. I'm going to give you examples that you can try out in your lessons tomorrow, okay? First of all, though, what is an icebreaker? Well, an icebreaker is just really a starter activity that you can do at the beginning of your very first lesson or at the beginning of all of your lessons. And it really does help set the tone of lessons. So we want to create a tone that is pressure-free, it's supportive, it builds trust with our students. It makes them feel comfortable and relaxed. So they think, oh yeah, I really like this. And so when they are relaxed, that is when they start making progress in speaking. When they're apprehensive and feeling, they won't join in. So we want to make them feel comfortable. So let's go dive straight into our 4 icebreakers. Number 1, let's go. This is when we need our floor mat on the floor, because we're going to get our students in a circle, our very first lesson. We've never used drama before. Our floor mat, and we are simply going to, here's the first activity. It's called Islands and Sharks, and we have a shark right here, right here, just for this exercise. Islands and Sharks. The objective is we're going to make human islands with our students. So I'm just going to simply have my students in a circle, and I'll say, I want you to make an island of 2. And I'll immediately go and grab a student And I will say 1, 2. That's it. Now I want you to make an island of 3. Grab one student, 1, 2, and I'll grab another student, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now I want you to make an island of 2. And you're going to encourage your students to grab a student, even if they don't know each other. It's a get to know you exercise. Grab a student to make an island of 2. Then encourage them to make an island of 3 together. An island of 4. So there are 4 students all in one group, and they have to count 1, 2, 3, 4 in English, obviously. Now, there will be some students who might not fit on an island, and that's great, because what they can do, and you are going to model this for them on the floor mat, is they are going to become the sharks. The sharks. I don't know where I'm looking at. There's a shark behind me. They're going to become the sharks, and you're going to encourage them to start swimming on the floor. Remember, you're going to demonstrate first of all, otherwise they won't do it. They won't join in. If you say, right, swim, and they say, no. If you say, right, swim, and you show them, they will. Okay? Then you just carry on through the activity. 1, 2, 4, 5, just for 5 minutes. This is a perfect icebreaker for your very first activity in teaching English through drama. We're not putting lots of pressure on our students yet, saying, okay, tell the class what your name is, tell them where you're from. No, we just want to set a pressure-free environment for them to feel relaxed and comfortable to join in, okay? Are you still with me? Let me know you're still with me in the chat box. Exercise number 2, name dance. So let's imagine this is my first lessons. I want to introduce some greetings, and I simply want to practice the phrase, my name is. In a circle around your floor mat, all of your students, so you can see them, they can see you. And simply step into the circle and say, my name is Miranda. Everybody together, repeat, my name is Miranda. Then the student next to you, you're going to ask them to do the same thing. They're going to introduce themselves with the phrase, my name is, but they're going to imagine and use a different gesture. So it could be, for example, my name is Pietro. Something really simple like that. Yes? So just saying what their name is and an action. And we're all then going to repeat, my name is Pietro. Okay? 5 minutes. You go round the circle, everyone has a chance to take part, introduce themselves really quickly, 5-minute icebreaker. That's it. What's happening? Children are smiling. They're feeling relaxed. They feel that they're not put under pressure too much, and they're using the whole of their bodies. It's a multisensory activity. Activity number 3, character walks. Again, we're standing in a circle around our mat. Okay? This time I want to carry on with greetings. So I want to say, nice to meet you, with a handshake. I'll step into the circle. I'll go and meet. I'll ask another student to come towards me and I'll say, nice to meet you. And we'll separate. I'll take his place, he'll take mine. So we just swap places around the circle. Invite everybody to come and meet each other in the circle and shake hands and say, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. And swap. I want to introduce with that, I want to add on nice to meet you after you've done that a few times, some adjectives, some emotions. So it could be nice to meet you still, but happy. Meet you, and swap places. Nice to meet you, and swap places. Angry. Nice to meet you, and swap places. Really simple. And you're demonstrating together, you're playing the activity together with your students. You're not acting out, you're not doing a Shakespeare monologue. It's really simple stuff, and you can do it because you do it every day with them, I'm sure. Character walks, you can transform that into also nice to meet you, but an old lady. Oh, nice to meet you. Swap places. A robot. Nice to meet you, nice to meet you. Swap places. That's it. Okay? Multisensory. Will our students remember this language at the end of the lesson? Nice to meet you. My name is. Yes. because we are combining this multisensory activity together with the target language of our lessons. So simple to do, okay? Last exercise. Let's do number 4, exercise number 4. Good morning, King. Now, for this, I need my crown. I feel so much better when I have my crown on. Ah, yes, right. So now I'm ready for this exercise. Have your students sitting down around the circle this time. It's a concentration activity. Now, your students probably don't know each other's names yet, so you're simply going to go around the circle with your wand, because you need a wand. Every classroom needs a wand. And you're going to say, girl, boy, elicit, boy, girl, boy, girl, girl. Okay, so we all know boy, girls. That's the first thing to set up. We're going to also practice this phrase. Good morning, King. Who am I? Together. Good morning, King. Who am I? Practice it a few times so they're all familiar with the phrase. Then we're going to ask for a volunteer to be the king. So here I have my ready-made volunteer. Yes. And we also need a blindfold. So the objective of this activity is we're going to put the crown and the blindfold on this student. We're going to ask for another volunteer to come up, sit down in front of them, and they're going to repeat the phrase, good morning, King, who am I? The king's goal is to identify the voice. So just through listening and guess if that participant is a girl or a boy. So when the volunteer comes up, they want to try and disguise their voice. Obviously, it's part of the game. So they're going to say, good morning, King. Who am I? Is it a boy or girl? They have to guess. Or they could say, good morning, King. Who am I? Yes? Is it a girl or boy? Let's have a look. Is it a boy? No, it was a girl. Ah, no, but good try. Swap over. Have another volunteer playing the king and another playing the volunteer disguising their voice. Will children want to join in this activity? Absolutely. Try. Well, they had done with me anyway over the past 25 years, so hopefully they will with you too. Let me know in the comments now which one of these icebreakers you are going to try out in your classes tomorrow. Are you going to try out the islands and sharks, or the name dance, the character walk, or the king? Good morning, King. Let me know in the comments. We've got King. You've made our day today. Oh, lovely. The king, all of it. I know the king, it's the crown. It's the crown. I know. We want to feel royal, don't we? Yeah, it's the crown. It's the crown. Character walks, the king. Love it. Okay. So there are examples of not of role play, of icebreakers. Okay. Right, what are we doing though? We are still combining our language. We've got our target language, but we're just using drama to encourage children to speak up, to get involved, to want to speak up, and to boost their speaking confidence. That's what we want, okay? Right, let's get on to our next topic of the day, which is role play. Now, let me know in the chat box. We're still with the king, aren't we? Yeah, the king. Let me know in the chat box if you have ever tried role play in your classes before. Has there ever felt like a big, hot, sticky mess? Too much language that you were asking them to memorize, too much language that they can't remember. When you have children up acting in front of the class, there are other children climbing up the walls. The engagement takes too much time of our lessons. There are lots of challenges with role play, I know. So let me give you a super simple, quick role play that you can do with your students straight away, that you can also do with your preschoolers, with your, let's say, 4-year-olds, getting them up in front of an audience. Yes, that's what we want to try and do. So I'm going to introduce you to our role play. I need another costume for this. Let me know in the comments where you think we're going for this role play. Let me know in the comments where we're going. Oh, la 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 la. Which role play are we going? Where are we going? The kitchen? Oh, thank you very much. We have got the restaurant. You got it in one. Well done. Okay. We're going to the restaurant today. Now, authentic materials used in class are a great thing to use, as you all probably know, even if it's just a hat, a tray. But what about if we have, oh, right, today we have la 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 la, we have our restaurant in miniature. We've got a miniature restaurant. Can you all see that? Let me see if you can see that. Okay, right. So authentic materials, even if we bring in a real orange to class, do you find our students just go, oh, it's an orange. So authentic materials, we don't have to bring in real food, but we can bring in some play food, or we can just use flashcards. Here I've got some play food. I've got a hamburger and I've got some more food. And let's imagine we're going to the restaurant. I have just covered with my young language learners and a couple of other lessons. I've introduced food. And so I want now them to practice food in a real situation or semi-real situation. So we're going to the restaurant to really practice using food at the restaurant, okay? So I said, we can elicit the food because they're a little bit more familiar with it. So what's this? Hamburger. What's this? Cheese. And then we've got, what's this? Fish. So you can go through all of your food. We've got watermelon, milk, and you also need to make some price cards for your food. So here we have a price card. So that's going to cost £5 for that cheese. We've got £1 for the fish. It's a cheap restaurant, this one. And £10 for the hamburger. Very expensive, that one. So we want simple prices as well. Don't incorporate 16.75 because that will just be too complicated for our young language learners. So keep the prices 1, 5, 10, something they can recognize. We also want to give something a bit fun for our customers that are going to come to the restaurant. So we want to give them some money to spend at the restaurant. Now, don't do what I did to start off with when I was role playing and I gave them paper money because they just eat it and we don't want eaten money. So try and well, what I discovered, I found poker chips were perfect for this activity. So we've got 10, well, we've got €10 here, but it can be £10, we've got £5 and 1 to reflect the prices on the price tags. These are great also because they're color coded. So you've got green, red and white in case they don't recognize the numbers. Okay. So you're going to give your students some money. And you're going to invite a volunteer to come up to be the customer. Now, when the volunteer comes up, you could give the customer, for example, a hat to wear or hold a handbag, something that they can feel a bit of the character. You don't need a full-blown costume, but something they can feel with the character. They come up, you are going to say the first phrase, hello, and they're going to answer to you, hello, and you will simply say, what would you like? Everybody together, what would you like? Really simple. They're going to repeat with you and you're going to clap out the phrase because that makes it more of a chant and it sticks in their memory a lot better than saying, hello, how are you? Would you like a table for two? What would you like? Simple. Volunteer comes up with their money. They are going to practice the phrase, I would like, and you're going to ask them to choose the food. So they could say, I would like the fish, please. Yes, the fish, please. I will put the fish on the tray. I've got the tray over there. And I will say, give them the fish. That's £1, please. They will give me the money, £1. I will take the money. Put out the till, open the till, put the money in the till, give them a receipt and the fish and say, here you are. Thank you. Thank you. But goodbye. Bye-bye. They go and sit down and they eat their delicious meal. That is it. Is it simple? Absolutely. Is it too simple? No, not to start with. Remember, we have time to add on more language later on. We've got plenty of time to add on, I would like the menu, please. For starters, the main course, dessert, the bill, please, all of that language. We can add it on a little bit later, but start simple. This way, children will be more engaged and encouraged to come up and take part. They'll remember the language and repeat it. Are we looking for perfect language speakers? No. What we're trying to do is nurture confident language communicators. And a simple role play like this can really help. Let me know in the comments if this is helpful for you, if you're going to try out your restaurant role play in a very simple way with your language learners. And let me roll out to the restaurant, take off my, let's go back to a bit of serious teaching here. And let's have a look, let's do a recap of what we've looked at today. So let's imagine, where have I got my, oh, don't know where I put it. I've lost it. That doesn't matter. Let's imagine that this is our English drama toolkit. We've discovered a mini English drama toolkit, and I've been giving you some different topics to think over, to look over, and to explore. So first of all, we started with how to set up your drama lessons with your students, how to set up your classroom and your students, so that we've got that ingredient in there. We also looked at 4 icebreakers. What are the very first activities we can do with our students if we have no experience with using drama in class to combine with our normal lessons? So we've got some 4 different icebreakers. We'll put that ingredient in our toolkit. And we also just looked at a role play, a very simple role play about the restaurant. So we've got that in there too. Now, all that's left to add into our toolkit for today is a touch of humour. Our sense of humour goes such a long way with students. When students see us laughing and laughing also at ourselves, they will love your lessons. They love it when we use our sense of humour and an element of playfulness. Playfulness is such an important. We need to tap into our inner child and bring out that inner playfulness. So all that's left is the magic words, hocus pocus, 1, 2, 3. Give our toolkit a bit of a shake. Think of how we can combine some drama into our lessons, and what you'll soon start to see by mixing up a few of these ingredients and lessons, that you will start to see that your children's speaking progress and confidence really starts to bloom and grow. Let me know in the comments what activity you are going to try out tomorrow. I really hope that you enjoyed today's session. And just before you go, if you would like to, let me drop that. If you would like to know how to discover some more English through drama tips and tricks and teaching English through drama, you can find me at Kids English Theatre online. I'm on socials, on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. I'm also a newbie on LinkedIn, and it would be great to connect with you. Ask me some questions, try out the activities, let me know how you get on with them. I would really, really love to hear from you. So thank you again for taking part in today's session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I wasn't kidding at the beginning. I think what a treat for everybody this session has been. I'm going to leave the hearts flowing up the screen. They're fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for your participation and all of these and all of your engagement in the chat box. It's been really, really lovely to see. You never became the Queen of England, but you became the King of Hearts and thumbs up. What I did.
The next best thing. It was the next best thing, Nathan. What can you do?
So there's a couple of takeaways and kind of questions, but things that we can discuss. Somebody was asking about they've asked about lesson plans for drama lessons. I think I perhaps we need to clarify it. So it's not let me get the right words. It's not drama in English. It's adding elements of drama into your English class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So whatever it's trying to, because otherwise sometimes you think, oh, I've got to throw out all of what I'm doing already in my lessons and just start immediately just incorporating only drama. No, what you can do is just enhance and enhance what you're already doing, the target language that you're already studying with your students, but bringing in elements of drama to support that language. So drama activities that can really help practice that language that you are studying with your students. So it's not about just acting in English. It's something different.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's really clear. Because you want to engage them, right? So teachers are looking for opportunities to do what they're already doing in more engaging, more playful ways to help different types of students to attach themselves to the activities, to the language, and feel a different type of confidence in using it. That's Perfect.
Absolutely. And absolutely, because children also, they have, well, research shows us that children have different learning styles. So there are some students who can't really keep still for very long in learning. They feel a lot more comfortable when they're being physical, when they're moving around. And drama can really help by keeping structure to the lessons, still reviewing target language or introducing target language, but allowing children to move around. There are other children who are very oral, so through chants and songs and storytelling. Some children are really verbal, so allowing them to speak more through skits, for example, or also being visual. Today, I haven't used slides, for example, but I know that to try and keep your attention, even as adults, I need to use some authentic material, some props to really keep your engagement for a whole half an hour as well. So it's the same thing with children. The more different props that we can use, or flashcards or authentic materials, it really does help maintain their engagement and their motivation for longer and their focus for longer.
Yeah. And I think that relates a little bit to some of the other comments that people were making about having large class sizes, limited space, disruptive students quite often, depending on where people are teaching. So I think that these activities, because they're so simple, like little icebreakers, little activities, little role plays, you can kind of just like splash them in, right? Just to kind of
Yeah.
just to kind of change the energy in the room, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. You're spot on, Nathan. I mean, you've got so much experience yourself as well. You know that it's changing different energies during the class. As I said before, keeping, even when we're studying text, we're learning through textbooks, studying for more than 10 minutes, 7, 10 minutes with young language learners is a lot to demand from them. So if you're chopping and changing your lessons with combining a little energizer in between, a brain break of some kind that can still support language, but it helps children to break up that learning structure throughout the lesson, and not only keeps their motivation, their energy and focus, but it also helps us because it becomes a lot easier for us to teach as well.
Yeah. And so we're going to run out of time, but I mean, a lot of people were mentioning teens. I know this was geared quite heavily towards young learners, but those activities and the language that you were using. But I mean, for me, I think that you can definitely use these with teens. And in fact, it might actually kind of shock them out of like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Like, actually, this is kind of fun. This is kind of cool. Like te
Yeah.
teens are bright and smart and creative. That I think schools plow on them that it's all about exams and getting your certificates, but actually they want to do a lot of these things.
Absolutely, and they need it because, as I was saying to you before, Nathan, I have friends who, when I speak with them, I know that their English is fantastic. Their grammar, their reading, their writing, emails, their spelling is so much better than mine. Mine's really bad. But when they actually come to speak, it's like, ugh, they panic. They say, I'm sorry about my speaking. I really freeze up. I know I train also business people who freeze up when they have to speak in public on a stage in English. And that's not because they don't know the language, but it's just because they haven't had that practice in speaking it. And they haven't built their confidence in speaking it. So the younger the children are, the better that we start getting them used to speaking up in front of their classmates, in a very informal situation. But they are our future public speakers, our students, and teens especially. When, as I said before, our goal isn't to become perfect language speakers, but confident language communicators. And the more opportunities we give also our teens to speak in class using different little I use, for example, lots of comedy skits with students, both with primary students and teens, because when you're using humor, when you can start making them laugh, they're even more focused, and they want to join in even more when they can laugh and play. And the thing is with teens is that we just have to change our tone. With younger children, we have a certain tone and a certain way of communicating. And with teens, we just have to change our way of communicating and our tone. So they don't feel that whatever we're doing with them feels babyish. The language still needs to be simple. It's not because they're teens we have to make it really complicated language just because they're teens. That can still be simple language, but we have to really peel it back, keep it simple, but our tone has to be in a certain way that they don't feel they're doing exercises that are babyish. That's an important thing with teens. They don't want to do anything that's babyish. No heads and shoulders, please.
We love heads and shoulders.
We do. I love heads and shoulders. I do.
And the audience doesn't need to just take our word for it. I'm seeing comments in the chat box that they've used these ideas with teens and they have worked. So out in the real world, people doing this, it works. In fact, it's just kind of reminding me of something actually I remember speaking about this in another webinar. If you're teaching teens and you feel like you want to do this with them, go and talk to the primary school teachers in your school. Like, because when those kids come to your class, they'll be prepped for this kind of stuff, right? So work as a team across the
Yes,
whole school. Talk to
absolutely. Absolutely.
and get them to incorporate more role play, get them to do they
Yeah.
use the sense of drama, because you will benefit from that when they come through the school. So that's a good tip as well.
Absolutely, totally agree. We're just using drama to support what we're already doing in class, not as a separate identity, but just help support what we're doing and what we like doing in class, or the curriculum that we have to follow because we don't have any choice, but to use it to support what they're learning. That's as simple as that. Not to become these Hollywood stars, but just to use drama in a very simple and playful way to boost speaking confidence, communication confidence. That's what we like.
Miranda, thank you so much. I wish we could continue the discussion. There's
Could be here all day. I think I'll
there's
stay
different
here all day,
directions.
Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about so many things with parents. We could talk about all sorts of things, but we don't have time. And I'm going to leave you rest because you have a third session coming up later this evening, which is very late for you. So I'm going to wish you the best of luck with that because I'm in
Thank you
Dubai,
so
so I will
much.
be fast asleep, sadly, for this one. But on behalf of the audience, again, look at the hearts and the celebrations, the thumbs up. Everybody's, I think, would love to be you. I think everyone wants to go back to being like 8 years old and join your class, move to Florence.
Come.
Save up.
The doors are always open.
I would definitely recommend, yeah, connecting with Miranda on LinkedIn, on Instagram, those pages, follow them. There's tons and tons of tips in there as well. And also follow Macmillan Education while you're there because plenty of things there as well.
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you so much to you, Nathan, to Macmillan, to everybody in the organization, and of course to all of you teachers for being here, for taking your time out to follow the sessions. It's been absolutely wonderful to have all of you here. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Enjoy the evening and we'll see you soon. I will share my screen for the last time. Again, wonderful thanks to Miranda. I hope that you guys have thoroughly enjoyed the energy and the passion and the topics that we've been talking about today. Quick reminder before we say goodbye that your certificate of attendance and your virtual goodie bag will arrive by email within the next couple of weeks. The first couple of days, I think, have gone out, so you may have received them already. If you haven't, take a screenshot of the email address there and get in touch with us, and somebody will help make sure that you get them. Don't worry about that. And there are some of the things that you might want to look forward to. Resources will be there. The presentations will be there. Well, not Miranda's because there was no presentation, but Myriam's will be there. The recordings will be there as well. Lots of things to look forward to. And there's certificates of attendance for each day that you attend. So if you attend all 10 days, you'll get 10 certificates. Plus, if you do all of the festival, you'll get an extra certificate with gold sparkles on it that you attended every day, I'm sure. There are the things you'll get. So tomorrow we are back again at the same time, 3 times tomorrow. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about universal design for learning. So we've been looking at a lot of classroom activities, but tomorrow we're going to be looking at how we can build more inclusive classrooms by thinking about the way we plan and design the lessons with students' needs in mind. So there's going to be lots of really practical things to help you with lesson planning and structures and the foundations to make sure that all of our students are engaging with our content and expressing themselves in ways that are most suitable for them. So a really, really interesting day coming up tomorrow. I'm going to leave you with this one. In fact, today has reminded me of a quote that I remember from when I was studying a long, long time ago. I think it was George Bernard Shaw that said, we hang on, I gotta get this right because I could get it backwards. We don't stop playing because we get old. We get old because we stop playing. So have a think about that one and think about what takeaway you have got from today's session. I know two speakers that will be getting old a lot slower than the rest of us, me included, I'm sure. In the meantime, we hope to see you again tomorrow, and we hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care, everybody. Stay playful. Enjoy your lessons with your students. Hopefully you use these activities, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Take care and have a wonderful evening.